Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 53 of the ChrisandBrick podcast, personal edition. For those of you that aren't aware, I also do a podcast with a good friend of mine, Kito Abashi, who has a financial and cryptocurrency-focused podcast every evening, and we also do a morning episode where we talk about pre-market topics before the bell rings for the stock market. I do want to point out that one of the listeners of that podcast also recently subscribed. Terrell Savage, a shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. You are correct. Brick is my my secret weapon in my investment strategy. So I'd like to give a shout out to Brick as well. In fact, why don't you come back here a little bit, buddy, and hang out with me? It feels like you're a little distant. But so tonight's episode, and I did it a little bit later in the evening because I wanted it to be more like a fireside chat. So this is the fireside chat episode. And before I really jump into the topics at hand, I do want to remind everybody that while I do appreciate everyone that's on the show, and I do appreciate the commentary, sometimes I feel like I need to express my appreciation a little bit further. And there's one in particular that I really like to call out, and it is a product called Pack Approved, which is a website owned by a gentleman by the name of Victor. I'll leave it at Victor in case he doesn't want me to give out his full name, but he owns packapproved.com, and they sell Pack Approved dog treats that have no gluten, no fillers, no preservatives, and no bull. And they have all been approved by the highest pack. I can tell you with 100% certainty that I have purchased and have watched my dog, Douglas, experience nothing but pure joy and delight every single time I give him a treat. There's such a wide variety as well. And there's also a section for kittens. We haven't forgot about those guys. It's called Kitty Corner. So if you guys would, please go check out packapproved.com. You can use a promo code that's called Doge, D-O-G-E, which actually ties back to the financial show that we talk about. Doge is a form of cryptocurrency, for those of you that are not aware. If you type in Doge as the promo code, you will get a 10% discount on your order. Again, I cannot stress enough that the quality and the just the overall experience with Pack Approved has been nothing but amazing. So thank you again, Victor, for your support. I love getting to share, what you're doing, because I think you're doing amazing things for animals out there in the world, and can't highlight it enough, my friend. So in addition to that, my only other request is to press that like button. I'm assuming you've done it. And then how about that subscribe button? And if not the subscribe button because you're already a subscriber, then how about forward it on, share it with somebody. We want more members of the Chris and Brick family. 3, 2, 1. I assume you've shared and or subscribed. Okay, so let's move into the news. Are you ready? Because we've got some really, really, really critical stuff happening in the world today. So this article actually tracks back to 2019, and it involves someone who I actually am a very big fan of, Billie Eilish. And as far as I'm concerned, she's one of the purest human beings on earth. I have watched many of her interviews. I've just observed the way that she interacts with people and the public, and I mean what just a nice person. So, but in this case, a little drama. Back in 2019, she was attending Coachella, and she ran into Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. Well, it turns out that she did not recognize Orlando Bloom, and in fact, she thought that was some guy that Katy Perry just knew. So, it is entirely possible that thankfully, due to a graceful recovery, she was able to prevent Coachella from completely being, I guess, shut down and or at least suspended indefinitely by making up with Katy and with Orlando and getting the opportunity to reintroduce herself. So thank you. And by the way, it just proves my point what a pure gem Billy is to the world, where she took the time to basically seek out Orlando and make sure that he received his due recognition. So thank you, Billy, for saving Coachella, for saving a potential catastrophe with Orlando and Katie. So, good job, and we need more of you in the world. The next one, this one, guys, this one was reported by Fox News, because a lot of times, these news agencies really, they dig into the heart of the matter of what's really going on in the United States, and the things that can be life-changing in terms of, geopolitical topics, socioeconomic issues, you name it. I mean, they cover the gamut. Well, in this case, I really want to report on something that was incredibly critical. So there was apparently a man who built a snow sculpture of the Lincoln Memorial. Now, to the shock and potential horror of the news reporter that actually took the time to speak about this, they actually said it looked like the Lincoln Memorial, like it actually looked like it. So while no confirmation has been brought to light as to whether she was expecting it to look like something like the pyramids of Giza or the Washington Monument or some other major landmark, I would like to report that it was in fact a very, very near replica to the actual Lincoln Memorial. Now, regardless of that, I think it's also very important to highlight that someone actually paid her probably an enormous salary to spend a good 3 to 5 minutes on this report. But wait, it gets better, because they brought in a panel of 4 other people to actually weigh in on how amazing and how, I don't know what the right adjective is, whether it's disturbing, whether it's surprising, whether it's joyful, because it really made no sense at that point, and my eyes started to roll in the back of my head. But point being is that at least 5 people were involved in the reporting of a man who took the time, because he had the time, to make a snow sculpture of the Lincoln Memorial that looked like the Lincoln Memorial. So I just wanted to share that with you all, because I really think that this is something that couldn't go without reporting in the news. Moving on. Now, this is actually probably going to blow you all away. This is my quote-unquote Kardashian report. And I say Kardashian, it's sort of Kardashian adjacent. So you've all heard of, I know you've all heard of him, and if you haven't, well, then you're probably from some other planet and or a part of the world where they do not broadcast anything at all ever. But Scott Disick apparently has platinum blonde hair, and there was a full-page commentary that is sure to reverse the course of climate change. I'm almost certain that the way that this was actually portrayed, climate change, you will start to notice, is already shifting back towards a more positive experience. Crops will start to be stronger, healthier food will be delivered to people. And I really think it also has to do with the fact that he had Amelia Hamlin, who I think is the daughter of Harry Hamlin, by his side while he was in fact sporting this new platinum blonde mane. So really shout out and thank you, Scott, for your selfless dedication to the planet Earth. We can't thank you enough. Keep up the good work, and look forward to seeing and hearing more about your endeavors as you change your hair color, and it in turn affects possibly the galaxy, maybe even beyond. I don't know, especially since we're doing things like spending more time on Mars and the moon in the near future. Okay, and lastly, and this one, guys, it took me a while to really think and process through this particular article, but R. Kelly a.k.a. Robert Sylvester Kelly, which explains why he probably goes by R. Kelly, because I probably would too. I would probably go by anything but Robert Sylvester. You should be, as I am, elated to know that while he is still a potential child pornographer, he's on trial for that. It has not been completed yet, so he could be found completely not guilty. So this is all alleged at this point. But the point being is that he is no longer a threat as pertains to the pandemic, as he's gotten fully vaccinated with the COVID vaccine. Both doses have been administered to him. He is now safe to be around as long as you're not trying to get COVID. I cannot speak to the safety regarding anything in his proximity, but I do want to say that we now know he's pandemic free, so we're all just that much safer, I suppose. That's it for tonight's news. I really hope that this helps everyone. I hope you're able to process this. I hope you're able to find a way to connect with the depth and the breadth of the impact that these articles are having on our society, and the fact that there are people that are being paid, pretty substantial amounts of money to share with us such, riveting and truly earth-shattering, and I know I've used that term many times, but it's just so true. But taking the time to report these critical news elements. So hang in there with me, guys. Thank you so much. Once again, hey, Terrell Savage, you are a gem to have on the show. You caught me on my Brick financial advice program, so I will be sure to incorporate him more in the future so that you'll be able to get the best possible advice that you can receive. Although we are not financial advisors, I still like to make sure you get the best plays that are available to you. So have a good evening, everyone, and look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Have a good night.